Hi, I'm Dr. Shoshana Garfield, and from this video you'll learn how to release the shame and guilt over anything you were forced to do to others whilst you were being tortured. There are a few different subtle aspects to this. The first one is philosophical, and that's that you are actually separate from your behavior. And this applies to all of your life, not just to the specific torture event. So you are not actually the acts that you have done. You are something much more pure. And just take that as a possibility for now. I won't discuss it further for now, but just recognize that there's a possibility of separating that out. Very important for being able to forgive yourself. Acts of torture are unforgivable. Acts are not people. People are forgivable. So making that distinction is a very important step on your road to self-forgiving. Another very important point is that you were forced to do it. It wasn't like under normal circumstances you would happily go and do those activities. Of course not. So in those extreme circumstances, the insane circumstances of being tortured, if you had been forced to harm another, that was because it was force. And as you may be aware, even in a court of law, consent is not consent if it's forced. So you actually didn't consent to do those acts. You didn't consent to perpetrate. Now it can feel horrible inside, I know. It really can. I understand that. But there's an important distinction to make here of part of the torture of you was in being forced to torture others. That the intent was to torture you in forcing you to do those acts. It was part of the whole torture experience, being forced to do those things. And I don't want to encourage a victim role. That's not what I'm saying. You were, however, victimized. True consent was not available to you, because in order to say yes to something, you have to be able to say no safely and easily. Obviously, that's not possible within the context of torture. You haven't earned the label as a perpetrator. Instead, I encourage you to think of yourself as someone who was tortured by being forced to harm others. It's a very important difference and a much more compassionate, understanding, accepting place to be. And from there, it's much easier to sluice away, to rinse away the guilt and the shame. There are more aspects around this issue, and I'll be speaking about that in another video, so watch out for that one. In the meanwhile, very best wishes for your complete recovery, and bye for now.